James Gunn's Top 5 Superhero Movies, Volume 3.
Hey GQ, I'm James Gunn, and I'm going to break down my top 5 favorite comic book movies.
Volume 3.
Sorry, do you think we know each other?
You tell me.
My third favorite all-time comic book film is A History of Violence, directed by David Cronenberg, one of my favorite directors. I love so many of his films, from Dead Ringers to Naked Lunch, but my favorite movie of his is probably A History of Violence. Viggo Mortensen stars in it. He's fantastic, and it's a really amazing movie about a guy who's a former killer who's trying to live this normal life and gets wrapped up in his past. When I saw History of Violence, I also, like Oldboy, I didn't know this was based on anything. I didn't know it was adapted from a novel, or especially didn't know it was adapted from comic books in a graphic novel. I just saw it as a movie itself, so it didn't have to live up to anything. It didn't have to overcome anything. It was just an amazing movie in and of itself that's emotional and passionate, and the violence and the action is shot really well. I mean, I really was influenced by History of Violence. I was influenced by the way that it didn't play like an action movie. You don't look at it and say, oh, that's an action movie. But if you watch the way Cronenberg shoots the action sequences in the movie, it's really spectacular and really deft.
Door!
I think Cronenberg has a way of turning the world just slightly to see something really ugly about it in a beautiful way, if that makes any sense. And History of Violence does that. He just turns this normal American family just slightly, and we see into its soul. And it's not the most beautiful thing in the world. There's this wonderful, of all the wonderful things, there's a wonderful sex scene in the movie between Viggo and his wife on the steps when she discovers, like, starting to discover who he really is. I'm not a big sex scene guy. I don't take sex scenes apart in the same way I take action scenes apart, but I somehow really remember that scene because it was so raw and so passionate and so real. And usually sex scenes just seem like I'm actually usually waiting for them to be done, or they seem like unnecessary or just exploitative, you know? So this wasn't like that at all. This was a real part of the story.